What is the single best method to receive payment from international clients? Getting paid as a freelancer working abroad via Upwork is not that easy. When I moved abroad a decade ago, into 2013, my only option to receive any payment was limited to keeping my former national bank account activated and receive payments in the country of origin. With my debit card, I was able to make withdrawals in the local currency. Works like a charm and everybody's happy, right? It is not easy at all to keep an account active overseas. Online banking would be location independent, you would think, but the truth is different. I had to avoid the use of banking apps as long as I could because I knew there would be issues with SMS codes not arriving, phone calls to verify identity, and the geographic limitation to the download of banking apps. So for years I used these print codes the bank would send to my correspondence address to keep my online access. That worked until 2019 more or less, and I had to switch to this system where they send you a little key generator. Those little devices that generate the keys are battery powered and sometimes they simply fail. And then visiting an office to get a new one becomes complicated when you are on the other side of the globe virtually. Same goes with the renewal of debit cards and keeping the worldwide usage enabled at all times. Troubles. I did not even mention of failures of the ATM systems. The cash machines simply do not work sometimes, and sometimes you need to have Maestro or Visa to be able to withdraw cash, and if you not have the right system on your card, you cannot withdraw cash. So here in Bolivia I always take cash at supermarkets where there's a line of 10 different ATM machines from various banks. So if one or two fail, there always are other options. Then if you manage to keep everything working, the bank can decide to end the service. This happened to us with two different banks, and I heard many similar stories from other expats. The last one to shame on in public is ABN AMRO Bank. This Dutch state bank decided to cut all business ties with Bolivia for some reason, and we had to allocate the funds elsewhere. Not pleasant when you try not to depend on only one or two banks. So this is more or less why I have 9 different cards to be able to withdraw funds at all times. You know, bank systems and the international links simply fail on a regular basis. The bank itself can default, so there's many reasons not to be with only one bank. Sometimes the ATM is simply empty, or when salaries have been paid, there's long lines of people trying to get cash, and then it's nice that you can choose to simply take the next ATM in line. What alternatives do we have right now? One is get a local bank account. In this case here, in Bolivia, Banco Fácil defaulted this year, and all other banks are not able to distribute dollars. And so this is not an ideal situation. You still can get local currency, so at least something is working. I think this local currency is sensible to inflation. The downside of a local bank account is the high transfer costs. So if you send money from the United States to Bolivia, the US bank charges about $40 and the local bank here another $10. So for every transfer you lose $50. It is workable, doable, acceptable, but not perfect. So what more alternatives do we have? There's Western Union. Western Union, I did not use that a lot, but there's also considerable cost of sending money. Then a couple of years ago, Upwork started to promote the use of Payoneer. Seemed like a nice alternative for freelancers who live in emerging economies and with limited access to banking services. So I created my account and applied for a card. Never arrived. So there's issues with mail distribution, and then Payoneer itself failed, and I forgot about it. Some while later, I heard they did a restart, and I find out my account was still active, so I applied again for a new card. This time I had my new card sent by DIL to make sure it arrives. I paid my annual subscription and ordered the card. Then Payoneer want to do an ID check to make sure I am where I say I am. So I submitted a scan of my residence permit, and it got declined. Long story short, they were asking all kind of verifications, and they keep asking to submit, and they never approved this verification. And as a result, my account got blocked, and there was no possibility to appeal. And I was quite upset about that, so I created support tickets and I reached out to employees, but nothing could change their mind, and I was not able never to really use my Payoneer account. So I had to keep searching for more alternatives. There are other alternatives around, such as PayPal, which exists for quite some time, and newer alternatives such as Revolut and Wise. I never tested Revolut myself, but with Wise I do have experience. First, about PayPal. I certainly hope Elon Musk will make X, the app for everything, working better than PayPal does, because the functionality of PayPal, what was his brainchild, it differs per country. In some countries, such as Bolivia, it's not possible to receive money on PayPal. It's only a one-way app to pay using a local bank. So with PayPal accounts created in certain other countries, it is possible to receive money, and I'm sure Elon never wanted it to be that way. Anyways, the foreign PayPal account has to be linked to a foreign bank, so in the end the dependence of the former nation's bank remains. That was up until this year, because I was able to get a PayPal debit card. So that's nice, excellent development. Now I no longer depend on my national banks, and I can use my PayPal card to withdraw cash directly from the ATM. So this is a pretty nice development. Another one is Wise. This one is working the best so far. I did have some approval issues with my Wise business account due to a bug in their systems. I got like in a never-ending loop of the verification process, but it got solved, and I managed to make Wise payments and cash withdrawals, so I'm a happy user of Wise. If you want to try Wise as well, please use my link to sign up for Wise, so I will receive a referral fee. For every 3 people that start using Wise because of me, I receive $90, and this referral program is available to you as well, because as soon as you sign up, you can generate your personal referral link and send it to your friends or share it in your favorite social network of choice, and you can receive some extra money for doing so. The user base is growing, so I think it's a nice opportunity to do this right now. More ways to receive money. When you join an Upwork agency, you can request direct payments through this agency. So then other options become available, like IBAN transfers directly to your European bank account, credit card top up, crypto, you name it. And if possible, cash, if you are in the position to meet the agency in person. The problem with crypto is that there's not a really common way to convert it into cash, and in the end you need real money here to buy food. That's what it comes down to. Nice, all these online payments, but locally cash is still king, as long as that remains. Last thing I want to mention or propose is the option of getting paid in equity, stocks, so to speak. Sweat equity as a form of payment. That is a way that you become part of the owner of the business you are working for. And if you contribute with a considerable contribution to the success of a startup, wouldn't it be nice if you see something back for that on the long run as well? And at least as part of the compensation, it would be nice to have an easy way to offer sweat equity as part of the payment. What I've heard, for example, is an increasing percentage to every certain number of hours you put into the business. Just another idea for a startup would be to make equity splits dynamic and easy to manage and automate with a click of a button, as easy as hiring a freelancer via Upwork.